everyone, I'm Aljun Kiberdara, BS Crim 3, Section C. We will be reporting supervisions of probationers. First, what is probation? Supervision. It means a legal status whereby juvenile who has been adjudicated delinquent is placed by the court under the supervision of juvenile probation for a specified period of time and upon such term as the court. What is supervised probation? An alternative form of sentencing that allow convicted offenders to avoid jail time. Instead of going to the jail, the offenders is released back into the community, but must follow a strict set of rules. Probationers, a person who is serving a probations or that period in a job or position to which they are newly appointed. Supervision. It is the action of supervising someone or something. The primary purposes is follow. Number 1, to ensure the probationer's compliance with the probation condition and the prescribed probation, treatment, and supervision program. To ensure or to granted that probationer would be comply with the most follow the condition to treatment and programs planned or for them. Number 2, to manage the process of probationers, rehabilitations, and reintegration into the community. Number 2, it means that no manage or to carry on the rehabilitation or reintegration that must be done into the community. Number 3, to provide guidance for the probationers, transformation of develop into the useful citizen for his eventual reintegration to mainstream of society. It means number 3, to provide. What to provide? Guidance for the probationers to improve or change itself as useful citizen. Principles, goals, and objective of probation. It is considered opinion of must be correctional authorities that probation is one of the most effective and economical tools which society now has available for the care, treatment, and rehabilitation certain and avoid juvenile offenders against the law. Presidential Decree number 968, otherwise known as Probation Law of 1976, recognized such a trend. However, the decree separate adult probation from juvenile probation, for it expressly include those entitled to the benefits under provision of Presidential Decree number 603, known as Child and Youth Welfare Code, and similar laws. A statement of the principles, goals, and objectives of the probation law are found in its preamble. Initial goals of probation. Number 1, enlighten a human correctional system. Number 2, the reformation of offenders. Number 3, the reduction of incidents of recidivism. Number 4, to extend to offenders in individualized and community-based treatment program instead of in imprisonment. Number 5, it is limited only to offenders who are likely to respond to provision favorably. And number 6 is it is economical or less costly than confinement prisons and other institutions with rehabilitation programs. The basic legal concept of probation. Twofold concept. Number 1, has a conditional suspension of execution of sentence. And number 2, has a personal care of a treatment of supervision over the probationer. The former denotes that court assume a primary rules because grant of the probation is judicial function prerogative. The latter indicate by administrative aspect of probation through supervision of a probationer officer and from the point of view of social workers and social casework treatment. The court dual rule in probation. Number 1, when it act accordance with jurisdiction to inquire over the accused and process by determining as guilt, assuming of affirmative findings of the offender's guilt with reasonable doubt. The court will be convict sentence said offenders. Number 2, when the court determines whether or not grant probation upon the application of the offenders. Section number 3, E and 4 of the degree clear show the purpose. The degree defined provision of section 3 has a disposition under which the defendant after conviction sentence is released subject to condition imposed by the court and to supervision of a probation officers. Principles, goals, objectives, and probation. This means that probation is one of the most effective way or care of treatment for adults and juvenile offenders against the law, because it observes a provision that life is scared, all men deserve second chance, an individual can change, and etc. And there are this the law that provide the presidential degree number 968. This is for adult probationers. The presidential degree number 603. This intended for child and youths.